Hello everyone, I'm back, and along with me I bring my voice, which as you might imagine is quite useful to do shoutcasts. And well, it still doesn't feel 100%, but feels decent enough to shoutcast, and I kinda miss it and enjoy it, so I'm gonna do it. If you guys really dislike the voice or don't want to hear me, just mute me or go watch something else, I'm still gonna do it. And for today, to start off with, I'm gonna pick up Game 1 from a Best Out of 3 series taken from this week's Black Dragon League that it's held on the European servers, and it's a fairly recent event but doing fairly well, and it's been attracting a lot of top gamers from Europe, and this series, as you can see, is one of these examples. We're gonna have a face-off between here the Red Zerg, DIMAGA, Ukrainian Zerg player, member of team mTW, Mortal Teamwork, and in my opinion one of my favorite Zergs, one of the finest Zergs playing this game, also a very nice guy, so I really enjoy him. And he's gonna be facing here against this green Protoss that I think I never shoutcasted a match from him, and as you can see he's going now by the name of nAni, but he's also recognized as Naniwa, Razor nAni, and he is a Swedish player that played Warcraft 3 before he came for Starcraft 2, and he's quite a solid Protoss player. But he has been having a lot of issues with attitude, aggression, manners, temper, anger management, and things haven't been going exactly as he expected, I would say. I know that I recall reading an interview that he had long time ago. I think it was still when he was playing Warcraft 3, where he mentioned that he had a lot of personal private issues to deal with, and most of the anger came from that. But the problem is that he vented it on his opponents, on tournament scene, being aggressive and very offensive towards people that, well, you can't blame them for anything, and well, he ended up getting a reputation for something that I don't think he would like to have a reputation for. Also, another sign of the troubles that he has been getting himself into is the fact that on the last 4 or 5 months, I think he had something like 4 or 5 different teams, and now finally he is establishing himself on Team Dignitas, which is quite a powerful team, and apparently he's just found home. I think he's stable, he's getting a lot more calm and quiet, and that's obviously a good sign, as you might imagine, because it will allow him to focus on his playstyle, on his practice, on evolving as a Protoss powerhouse, and less of the whining and whinging and BM that, well, I guess we all can get rid of and just evolve, get more mature as human beings and as players. Another small detail, just a curiosity I would like to mention to you guys, is the fact that, as you could see at the end of that picture-in-picture that I showed you from presenting Naniwa just now, he is one of the few left-handed pro gamers in Starcraft 2, which I found kinda interesting. So as you can see on the picture, he plays with the mouse on the left side. Not being discriminatory in any way, not trashing him or talking bad about him because he's left-handed, by the way. Don't take things that way. I never take things that way. I just play this game and shoutcast for fun. I'm not here to trash people down. And let me mention that I'm also left-handed, so that's not the case. So, like Joker would say on the last Batman movie, why so serious? Relax, I'm just making a comment because I found it curious, that's all. So focusing on the match, as you can see, as Probe was trying to hit here on the side, trying to get some proxy pylons going on, got killed but still got the pylon out, and meanwhile on Naniwa's base he went for gateway into cybernetics core, and now 3 more gateways, so you're gonna have 4 gateway play incoming pretty soon, while on the DIMAGA side he did basically the spawning pool first, making sure he would be able to keep it cautious and defend if any kind of early aggression would come, and it was a good option, especially on this map, since the natural expo is fairly wide open and hard to defend. So he went spawning pool and hatchery second, so quite a good option in my opinion, based on what Naniwa is preparing here. And now he has to pull back because Naniwa finally finished off this pylon on the Xel'Naga tower and start to warp in the first units, for now 5 stalkers, but he's gonna be able to warp in more, and if Naniwa is actually able to establish a pylon even closer, a lot of pressure will start piling on DIMAGA. DIMAGA trying to get a nice surround here with the Zerglings with speed, trying to pick up as many of those stalkers as possible. There's only 5 of them for now, but incoming reinforcements from what I can see, once again from that pylon close to the Xel'Naga watchtower, and this time is Zealots to back up the ranged units, and they're advancing, backed up by that probe. Ooh, are we gonna have another pylon? Yes we are. Second pylon really close to the natural Natural Expo, and this is gonna turn out to be really hard for DIMAGA to defend. Notice that DIMAGA meanwhile went to make some roaches. He has a roach warren established there, and he's gonna start to reinforce his army. It's gonna be Zergling and Roach against Zealots and Stalkers. Fairly balanced, but the numbers from DIMAGA probably will be bigger. He's working out of 2 bases. He's going to be able to pump out more units, I would say. Let's see if Naniwa is even able to start poking at the base. For now, DIMAGA just holding back, making sure he has enough forces to just grind down and chew down this assault from Naniwa. Naniwa porting a couple more units in, reinforcing this 4-gate push, and incoming all the roaches and all the Zerglings. Nice surround on the Zealots, so all the frontline Zealots got chewed down really quickly, and now focusing fire on those rage units, on those Stalkers, with the roaches spewing that acid on top of all of those Zealots, and now trying to spew some more on the Stalkers. Stalkers slowly getting microed, pulled back and forth, trying to defend, but I don't think there's enough here for Naniwa, and meanwhile he just lost his pylon there, so he won't be able to warp in anything else close to DIMAGA's unit, and he was able to fend off this assault and thwart the 4-gate push. Nice move here by DIMAGA. Well defended, well contained. He's gonna get rid of this pylon as well, from what I can see. Yeah, there he goes, it's gonna go down. And now Naniwa will have to prepare a transition. His 4-gate push just failed, and now he needs to go somewhere else. He needs to decide which way to head in, because as you can see, he just doesn't have much of an army currently. He's working out of a single base, and his opponent is 2-base play, leading the way on the econ game, as you can see, though the harvested count is still fairly close. But playing out of 2 bases, gas on both bases getting picked up. Also here on Naniwa's side, he only picked up the 2nd gas just now, and now getting a Stargate, so he's gonna transition into some air units. I wonder, Phoenixes or Void Rays? Void Rays, based on the unit composition that DIMAGA has at the moment, Void Rays would do just fine. I mean, only the Queens would be able to do something about it, and all these roaches will get grinded down. But obviously DIMAGA will be able to react if he wants to, and as you can see, he's already getting the lair tech, so he's going to be able to choose probably Hydralisks or Mutilisks. He can go that way. I would say Hydralisks maybe, because as you guys know, they're very effective against gateway units, and well, the Void Rays are fairly fragile as well, and the Hydralisks can shoot them down. So I guess that's the way things are going. For now, DIMAGA doesn't have much of visibility here. As you can see, he didn't check anything on the main base from Naniwa. He just standed there trying to hold that 4-gate push, and now he's just keeping safe, trying to get a nice unit mix. And as you can see, I think he's gonna go, let me look, he's already has the lair tech getting burrow, so he's getting all the upgrades for his roaches, also the glial reconstitution to give roach speed, and he's committing himself to plenty of roach play. This might be a bit risky, because he needs something to defend those air units that he's still not aware of. There's the Void Ray, while Naniwa establishes Nexus, picking up his 2nd base, his Natural Expo, and actually trying to get once again back into the econ game. Keep in mind that DIMAGA now is boosting ahead, 43-31, and look at the difference on the income. And meanwhile, he's been spreading his creep, so he's preparing a nice assault there, sending a changeling down just to take a peek at what is his opponent doing. Is it gonna get shot? No. Incoming a Zealot, and checking that, oh yeah, he saw that Void Ray, and now he's gonna spot the Phoenix, so he knows he needs to do something about the air defense, and he is. As you can see on the production tab, we're gonna have the Hydralisk then coming out, so fairly good option. Meanwhile, Naniwa just keeping tabs on everything going on DIMAGA's bases with that Phoenix, and there it is, the Hydralisk then covered in Overlords. So we're gonna have Hydralisks, quite effective units against the gateway units from Naniwa, and I think that DIMAGA is just massing up the proper counters to tear down the unit composition from Naniwa. Let's see army wise. Yeah, he's still leading by a big hunk, as you can see here. It's just 108 against 67, DIMAGA leading the way, playing out of those 2 bases for quite a while. This Void Ray was just hanging there. He didn't even poke at any of the units. Okay, I guess. And meanwhile, DIMAGA just committing himself to a bit more of macro game and picking up the hatchery on the rich mineral field. So 3 base play against 1 base play, and apparently Naniwa just cancelled the Nexus that he had here, and this doesn't look very good, because 3 base against 1 base, I think that Naniwa was just committing himself way too much to that 4-gate push, and when it failed, I guess he just had a I don't know, he just locked, mental lock, and he doesn't know what to do next. He went for those air units, but it's actually maybe he needs to mass up a big fleet. He only has 2 Void Rays for now, and meanwhile DIMAGA has a lot of Roaches, Zerglings, and has, as well as you can see here, the Hydralisks, which are following the creep. He doesn't want the Hydralisks outside of the creep apparently, while the rest of his forces lead the charge. They're almost at the door of the Natural Expo, and incoming now a big chunk of Void Rays, trying to shoot down as many Roaches as possible. Force fields going down, picking up a nice chunk of those Roaches on front of it so the Zealots can slice and dice, but the units are not being pulled down enough, and the Hydralisks are reaching them. The Hydralisks are actually DPSing all of the units down. This is not good. If he loses those Void Rays, this is gonna be painful. Phoenix trying to immobilize one of the Hydralisks, and now a lot of Roaches passing into the main base, just going straight there, and a nice force field play on the ramp, making sure he's going to be able to contain the advance of the Roaches. Lost one of the Void Rays, killed the final Hydralisk, and now it's only Roaches and Zerglings roaming around, splitting the groups, and nAni just GG's out of the match. It was too much for him, and he just noticed how delayed, how far back he was on the econ game. I mean, DIMAGA was playing out of 3 bases already, while Naniwa was just stuck here on 1 base, and look at the amount of probes he had here. He was completely exhausted, and he needed a 2nd base, which he didn't get. He actually didn't finish the one that he tried to get here. I guess he just decided to commit all the resources to more units to have a proper army to counter his opponent, but the gap was really big. The failed 4-gate just killed him literally. Well, it's the way things are. DIMAGA leading game 1, 1-0. Let's go for game 2. Hope you guys enjoy it. See you all later.